Okay. Sorry, I keep showing you that view. All right, so hopefully I've got the headphone thing fixed. I do have levels. I'm going to actually move that a little bit. Okay. So I did make an attempt to do this yesterday, but I wanted to do it at the beach, and then I forgot to bring some stuff, and then, well, it was just too darn cold. So I'm going to do a light stretch today, and then maybe hopefully another workout tomorrow. So I'm going to grab yoga mat, stretchy strap, all my good toys here. Try to figure out where the center of the room is. Okay, now, yes, it's still kind of cold. I think it's like 60, which is nice, but the wind just makes it so much more intense. So, anyways, add some music on Spotify, whatever relaxing music you want to listen to. I'm going to use these bands to help me stretch out. And then I'll explain later, but we're going to take them, put them on like, oh, wow, this is tight, like a bracelet. It just keeps them from falling off. And then grab here, right in the middle. Oh, yeah. So I did a bunch of woodwork and stuff and lawn stuff and pretty much until I couldn't move anymore. So we're taking this and we're actually pulling that band a little bit apart behind you. Stomach is tight, standing tall, knees are slightly bent, belly button in, all those usual positions. Taking this up overhead, drop the shoulders, pinch your shoulder blades, and then just take it a little bit to one side. You're not trying to bend to the floor. You're actually trying to reach the upper arm towards the sky with a light grip on the band. And back to the center, drop those shoulders again, lift the chest up, squeeze the shoulder blades, and then over. Always got to get in that perfect posture. And those arms are trying to stay behind the back and reach to the ceiling. And then we're going to come back in. Going to take it again behind you. So with the band, you can actually let it pull out a little bit to help accommodate your shoulders if they're extra tight. Just going to slowly bring it down through a range of motion. And then we're going to do the same thing on the way up. A little bit apart of the band, and then coming upward and to the front. So we're going to take your grip a little bit closer, pull those shoulders back and down, and we're going to take the arms straight and pull it apart a little bit. As you pull it apart, squeeze your shoulder blades. As a matter of fact, you're actually squeezing your shoulder blades, and that is what's pulling the band apart. If you're more comfortable, you can change your hands to where they're facing each other. I think it's a little bit better when the palms are facing down. It's a little easier to squeeze those shoulder blades. Go one more time. And then we're going to take this up overhead. Try to get those arms back behind the ears. Remember, knees are slightly bent, stomach is tight. We're going to just pull one arm down, squeezing that shoulder blade, and back up like a pull down. We're going to alternate the arms and squeeze through the back. Nice and slow so you can feel the shoulder blades. Remember, you drop your shoulders down slightly, then pull through. One arm stays straight, the other one pulls, going behind the head or just to the side. But you don't want those arms in front of you. You want them back as far as you can so you can really focus on the back. Squeeze that shoulder blade, feels good. Other side. Beautiful. We're going to bring it down, warm up these legs a little bit. Ooh, this is going to be fun for me. Actually, so much sitting and standing and working on stuff. That'll be a separate video. We're going to reach out and up. Now this time we're going to hold it more like a chair pose. So down and reach up. Bring it up in the chest, squeeze the back and down. Do that again. Hold. Weight is on the heels, reaching up and then coming down. Now, I definitely need to loosen up my legs. I don't know if you just heard both of my knees crack. They always do that, though. Good. So I'm just going to do some hamstring curls. Going to pull this apart a little bit in front with the stomach tight. That way I can stretch the quads while I warm up the hamstrings, too. All right, then I'm going to take it just side to side. You don't have to do the arm part, but I'm just doing this to stretch out. So that lower body, you're stretching out through the hips. Go ahead and then we'll relax the arms for a moment. Just bring it nice and high. So this time, arms can be bent or you can leave them straight. It's up to you. I'm going to leave mine bent so my shoulder blades are pinched. And then I'm just going to slowly rotate towards. Things are cracking all over on me. Yeah, so this is going to be stretch. Not completely yoga. basically I'm making up for missing yesterday because, well, nothing went right. And I'm very tight. Doing lots of work on the house here. Good. So nice and tall, stomach tight. And we'll bring that down to a march. I'm going to move my mat a little bit out of the way. Very least straighten it. All right, so Frankenstein stretch. Shoulders back and down. Ooh, yeah, that's not going very high, is it? All right, so the legs are completely straight. Oop, looking at how dirty my knees are from kneeling on the deck. But we're stretching through the hamstrings. See, now I can really feel it through my lower back. I did a lot of weird positions yesterday. You never know how much you're doing when you're working on things until, well, the next day. Nice and straight. Good. So that's the way to stretch out the hamstrings. I'm going to clean off my knees because it's going to bug me. Okay. And then we'll just get a little tap. I'm actually going to take the bands off while we're doing this because I don't think we really need them as much right now. So we're going to cross. Ooh, yikes. Yeah. I know it's like a regular aerobic warm up, but you're also stretching because you're going to slow it down. Now, I noticed what I just almost did. I almost went like that. Don't bend down to it. Bring that leg up to you. See, this side's so tight. I keep wanting to bend down to it. Yikes. Bring that down. So for me, my inner thighs are really tight. I don't know how yours usually are, but we're going to take a side lunge, which we did in our silent workout on Monday. So yeah, I'm leaning a little bit forward. Weight is on the heels. Just shifting your body side to side. And then let's just hold one side. Now, if you can stay straight up, great. Usually the body does tend to lean a little bit forward. As long as your back is straight, that's fine. And then we'll take this to the other side and hold. Remember, weight is on this heel, but we're stretching this leg. So you're almost leaning a little bit towards this leg as opposed to lunging on this one. So this one's kind of balancing you and this one is stretching. We'll do that again. So bend, shift your weight towards this side, get that inner thigh, still keeping your weight on the, heels down on both legs, sorry. And then other side. Good, so same thing, stretching right through that inner thigh, a little bit of a lean. Good, we're gonna bring that in, loosen it out. Now, this is definitely gonna hurt me more than you. We're gonna take this, shoulders back and down, stomach tight. This is gonna be our figure 4 stretch standing. Coming down into it, we're gonna sit. Now it is very windy here. So if I fall over, that's my excuse. But you're just sitting straight down. Putting the arms wherever you need to balance. And by the way, if you have something to hold on to, go ahead. And then we're going to stand up. Switch legs. This is my challenging one. So just don't look at me right now. Okay, open up the leg here. And even if you want to start with that stretch and hold it, that's fine. Otherwise, we sit down. Yes, we do this on the floor. It's also the same position that you would use for the pigeon on the floor. Yeah, I'm wobbly here, I know. Really tight through the back. Oh, there we go. Stand it up. Ooh. I knew that was going to be rough. All right, so I have a stretch out strap. You might have one. You might, excuse me, have a regular yoga strap. Whatever the case may be, it's just a little stiffer than the bands. So I'm going to take it just about wider than shoulder width. And yeah, I'm going to come back one more time. Drop the shoulders, squeeze the shoulder blades now. We should have a little better range of motion, a little better feel into the shoulder blades. And then we're going to bring it down. I'm going to take it in a little bit closer. This one actually has numbers on it. And we're going to come down, up, and basically a hay bale. And you don't have to use a strap. You can use what I call the invisible dumbbell, which is really just your pretend dumbbell. Or you can use a very, very light one. I left mine inside, otherwise I probably would grab it, the 2-pound weight. But slowly up, and remember you're turning upper body one way, lower body the opposite. And just getting everything through that lower back. So doing the best you can. You can even do this seated because you don't want your lower body to rotate. You want your lower body to stay as set as possible. One more. And that's one more each way. And of course I'm not counting. Why count, right? I don't even remember which side I went to first. Good. All right, so shoulders are back and down. Next thing we're going to do, set those down for a little bit. You're going to pull those shoulders back and down, stomach tight. I know I just repeated myself. Knees are soft, but they are straight. We're just reaching to one side. Now, I want you to pay attention. Are you rolling forward here, or are you opening up? So hopefully you're opening up, kind of like the triangle pose, which is what we will be doing next. Other side, shoulders are back and down, stomach is tight. Yep, this side on me is really pulling bad. So watch your shoulder. You might not be able to actually see it, but think about pulling it back behind you a little extra. Good. And then as we straighten it up, we go ahead and take it a little extra wide for that triangle. One toe is going to point outward. And as a matter of fact, if you have a broomstick or a long stick, putting it behind you or putting it behind your elbows helps a lot with this one. The shoulders are back and down. We're slowly going down towards that front leg or the leg that's pointing outward. Again, watch the shoulder. Tendency is to go forward. We're going to try to open it up. And as we open up that shoulder, we're trying to open up through the hip. Now, if you want to put your arm here to help you rotate, that is perfectly fine. If it's not comfortable doing that, I know right now my neck is really stiff, so it's hard for me to stay right there with my head. So I might move it down like this every once in a while and then back up. But we got to hold that position. Oh, where's my arm going? There it is. Just holding and breathing and trying to let your body, release into it. Sorry, that was something cracking again. And again, always trying to open up, bringing the chest towards the sky. We're bringing this up. Luckily, it's not as sunny as it is today. Shoulders back and down. Hopefully I got the setup right. We're going to go into a warrior, so your legs stay exactly the way they are. Yeah, one forward, one pointing. We're going to rotate the upper body. Nice and tall through the chest. Now this time, you're shifting your weight to the back leg. So you're barely having any weight on that front leg. We can bring the arms overhead and behind the ears or by the ears. And basically you're pushing your hips forward. So you want to feel that through that inner thigh and hip flexor of that rear leg. I'm going to hold. Good. So you should not feel like you're doing a lunge because, well, you're not. So take that foot forward, rotate the other one out to the side, and we're going to do this as high. So shoulders are back and down, stomach is tight. We are reaching down that leg, trying to get that shoulder to rotate towards the ceiling. And hopefully you're doing more than looking, but this side on me, I can rotate a little bit easier, but I feel other things that hurt, so there's always something to work on. Yeah, palm can be forward or outward. I mean, you can get whatever's comfortable there, but trying to rotate that chest towards the sky without leaning forward. And breathing. And then a little further if you can. Still, yeah, you are pinching your shoulder blades back right now. I mean, you're pretty much working every part of your body because not only are you stretching, but you're holding those muscles. And then we'll bring it up. And then shoulders back and down, so you always start with that good posture. Rotate. Weight goes on that back leg. Again, feeling it right through here. Hip flexor, inner thigh. Your body is not leaning. You're pushing your hips forward. So remember, not much weight on that front leg. All the weight's on the back leg. With your back straight, we can bring the arms overhead. You can reach them up high and behind the ears. And then just holding that stretch nice and straight through the body. You don't want to arch the back. There is a natural curve, but that's about it. So we straighten up. We're going to come back to the center. Both toes are going to point to the front. We're going to repeat that, but first we're going to come up with the chest, look straight ahead, and then press one shoulder to the opposite knee. So very similar position and pose, just, well, in a different position. Chest up, stomach is still tight as you rotate shoulder to the opposite knee. Then we'll come back to the center, slowly roll it up, and we're going to do each side one more time. So shoulders back and down. Hopefully you're standing a little bit taller. One foot's going to point out to the side, the other one's pointing here. We're going to pull those shoulders back and down and slowly reach down. Remember, you're rotating that chest towards the ceiling. Coming down. Yeah, I know. You can hopefully get farther than I. I've got the tightness in this part of my back. That's what we're doing this for. Deep breath, exhale, slowly rotating. I also like to think of taking this hip and pushing it just a little bit forward so I can get a little deeper stretch through that hip flexor. And yes, you should feel some through this inner thigh too, through the back. Coming up slowly. See, that already felt a little better. Shoulders back and down, stomach tight. We rotate. Weight goes on that back leg. Body stays tall. And here we are. So no weight or very little weight on that front leg. Arms can come up. You can leave them out to the side if you prefer that kind of warrior, but either way, keep those shoulders down away from your ears. Push those hips underneath you and forward. Make sure you're feeling the majority of this on the back leg. And then we'll come back center. Bring that down. Always bring it down into our perfect posture position. We'll say that 10 times fast. Switch the feet. One forward, one back, and take a look at them. Make sure they're aligned right. There's not one shooting this way or that way. Well, they are shooting this way and that way, but make sure they're straight on their ankles. Shoulders back and down. And we slide it down. So again, it is optional if you want to put the arm up. You do want to rotate that chest to the ceiling, and you're trying to, yes, keep your body in a straight line. Meaning you don't want your shoulders forward, you don't want them too far back, you don't want your hips jutting forward or back, just slight little differences. So just a little push in the hips just to try to keep it all aligned. Same thing with the back, you're opening it up towards the sky. And then think about elongating the spine so that you're not hunched over or anything. Reach it down a little further. I know, I used to be able to touch the floor too, so in due time. We'll come up slowly, pulling those shoulders down, and then rotating and bending. The front leg is light, hips are pushing underneath you, getting that hip flexor stretch. Body is straight, shoulder blades are pinched, arms can be here, or they can be overhead. When they are overhead, you still keep those shoulders down away from the ears. You really have to focus on that because they want to shrug up on a lot of movements. Always those deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then we'll straighten it up. Come to the center, bring the arms down. Both toes are going to point to the front, and this is where we're going to come in that mini squat, hands on the thighs. And this one people do wrong a lot. You want to lift that chest first. And yes, your back will be arching or curving, which is really its normal position. And then you push one shoulder to the opposite knee. And so when you're in the right position, you'll feel a lot more through that lower back. And then back to the center. Before you do anything, you stop, you reset, shoulders down, chest up a little bit. Then push that shoulder to the opposite knee. Hopefully you can feel the difference when you reset yourself. I think people rush into it and they actually push the shoulder downward instead of reaching the spine upward. And all the way up. Okay, shoulders are going back and down. And just to reinforce that, take those arms out, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Point your fingers to the back of the room, bring it in. Shoulders are still down, open it up. We just did the opposite direction in case you didn't notice. We'll do that one more time. So deep breath, exhale, open up, knees slightly bent, squeeze those shoulder blades. That's your posture. Back to the center, other direction. Squeeze. And up. So from here, we're going to take those arms back behind your head still. Reach towards the sky. You bend a little bit, and then you reach upward. And then back to the center, other side, stomach tight, a little over, and reach up nice and high. It's bright, so yeah, I'm keeping my eyes closed. It's not super bright, but just enough that, well, I'll close them every now and then. Shoulders are going to roll back and down. Now, some people do roll them forward. I don't see the point in that because we're already hunched too much. So pull them back and down. And as you pull them back, you're squeezing them back, and then you're pushing them down. So you're using your back muscles as much as possible. Squeeze the shoulder blades, then keep them tight as you push down. The more we learn how to use those back muscles, the better your posture, the better your workouts are going to be. Because if we use more of your back, it's a large muscle group, you burn more calories, and all that's good. So going back towards what we did in the beginning, see if it's a little bit better. I know my side's still tight right there, but definitely, whoops, feels better. Again, if you got something to hold on to, do that. We're not working on balance right now. We are really just working on stretching. All right, so I'm going to go on down to the floor here. Yeah, as you can see, it's not that easy for me to get down right now, very tight. I'm going to keep these things close by because I never know. Sometimes I want to use them. Hopefully they don't blow away. Whoops. Yeah, a little slow moving. Sorry about that. Didn't have all my caffeine this morning yet. Am I kind of sort of centered? Yeah, maybe. Probably need to go this way, don't I? Well, you can get a sip of water while I'm doing this then. And hopefully that's the right way. It's all backwards, you know, so no idea. Oof. Excuse my exclamations of pain. Shoulders are down on the floor, so you pull them down this way and then down towards the hips. And we're going to let both legs fall to one side. Hard to believe I still had something crack. So really important that you keep the shoulders down on the floor and level. We're always trying to separate the upper body and the lower body. And that's what we're doing here. So back up to the top. Reset your shoulders. Then take it the opposite direction. So it's almost like you're pushing the opposite shoulder down as these go over. So it's not just the lower half you're thinking about, you're also thinking about that upper half. So we're going to take it back to the top and do it one more time. Reset the posture. Let the legs fall to one side. And if it's easier for you to keep it flat by keeping your arm out to the side, that's fine. I know some people like to go overhead and stretch. Sometimes that rolls you this way, so I really don't prefer that. So arm out to the side or arm where it was. Yeah, push them over a little more. They laxed off. Back up to the top, other side. Resetting that posture as you go into it. Shoulder pressing down. So when you're really focusing on the shoulder pressing down, the legs going the opposite direction, you're going to feel much deeper stretch. It's amazing how a little bit of focus makes a big difference in, well, everything you do actually. So what I'm going to do now is like a lower abdominal curl or pelvic tilt. Just taking that gap that's between your back and the floor and just squishing it and release and squish. It's just basically stretching out that lower back and also activating those lower abdominals. Now, since I do have my stretch strap here, I think I'm going to use it for hamstring stretches. If you don't have a stretch strap, or you have a yoga strap, or you don't have either one of those and you have a band, you can also use the resistance band. Gives you a little bit of a extra range of motion because it's a little bit forgiving. So I'm going to grab these Now, what's important here is that whatever you're doing, keeping your leg straight, your other leg is bent, that takes some pressure off your back. You're holding it so that the arms are comfortable. You know, I had a feeling I should put something back there, but oh well. Hopefully that doesn't happen too much. All right, pulling it back towards you. At least it's a yoga mat. It's not too heavy. Told you it was windy, see? Maybe I'll just tuck it under my head so that way I don't have to worry about it. There. Okay, so that was a really long, extra long stretch. Then we're going to just take that leg slowly out to the side. I'm going to back off on the strap a little bit because I know it's tight. And then just hold it. Again, shoulders should be down. You shouldn't be rolling on your side. If you can increase the range of motion, you would do that by bringing the leg, well, I guess we call it upward. Just holding. Now, if you're getting stress in the arms, then don't use the strap. Let's bring that in, take it back up, pull that hamstring stretch one more time. Now, certainly you can do more of these. You can repeat them as many times as you want. I'm not sure if anybody's going to be having their lawn guys come today, so I don't want noise. So I'm going to just do it twice. Back out to the side. I'm going to back off of this a little bit. Don't even need the strap for it. A lot of times we do it in class without the strap. And then we're going to bring it in and go ahead and switch legs. So you're going to take this one here, put that one there. Oh, yeah. Where is it? Oh, wow. Yeah, got super tight hamstring on this side. That's something I did last year. Once I get my shoulders better, now all of a sudden this leg is acting up. But at least we're getting some improvement in it, so can't complain about that, I suppose. Taking this out to the side, lowering the hands on the straps. I would grab part of them if I could, but yep, just letting that stretch out to the side. And this is probably a better view for you to see your leg, would just kind of come that way. I see my legs wanting, this one's wanting to turn out. So be aware that this other leg is staying where it's supposed to be, not folding in or folding out. Back up to that hamstring stretch. And as you're doing it, yes, not only are you focusing on that hamstring, but you're also pressing that lower back into the floor a little bit like you would for that pelvic tilt. Because of course they work together. And then before we fall asleep, we got to take it back out to the side. Shoulders stay down. So I was using two hands on the strap. Probably better if you do keep one out to the side. You know, birds are louder here than in Florida sometimes. All right, so we're going to bend it and bring it in. And you could probably use a strap for this next one, but I'm not going to. It's going to be that figure 4. Ankle here. We're going to push it away. And then we're going to pull it in. And then once you pull it in, your shoulders might pop up. So that's where you need to pull them back down. So pinch your shoulder blades here towards the bottom of the floor. Pull it in. Yeah, you really have to focus on that, pinching the shoulder blades, because you don't want to be stressed in the shoulders. Now, the best part about this stretch is that we get to go right into this one. Let it go, ooh, down to one side. Again, shoulders are coming down. You'd be surprised how much the shoulders move up when we're not thinking about it. So depending on which way or which leg you started with, you might feel the stretch on the top, or you might feel it on the outside. I'm just going to hold for a little bit. Then we keep the legs crossed, and we just change it to the other side. So if you've seen the or done the signature stretch that's on the Quick Fit Club or any of my other workouts, this will be familiar, that you just keep that leg right there because you get 2 stretches in one. And then we'll take it back up to the top if you didn't fall asleep. Take that leg off, and then we'll go figure 4 on the other one. So we'll start with just a little push away. Can help loosen it up. For some people, this is more than sufficient of a stretch. Trying to separate through that hip. This depends on, you know, what condition you're in. That's why everybody can do something. All right, so ooh, this is really tight. All right, so I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to make my best effort to get those shoulder blades pinched and down towards the floor, and then pull it in a little bit more. Wow. Yeah, this knee isn't even, this leg's not going where it's supposed to at all, but that's why we're doing what we're doing. Keep holding it and breathe. So I call this one the floating pigeon because it's basically the same kind of stretch that you would get in the pigeon, but for some reason I think of well, a pigeon floating on his back with a little umbrella. And then we cross those legs, go down. I don't know, I was just thinking, I always think of the that don't let the pigeon drive the bus, or don't let the, I think it is the pigeon. Anyways, that's the little one I think of. If any of you have kids and you've read that book. He's a sassy little pigeon. Then we take it to the other side, keeping those legs crossed. Again, yes, you're feeling it in the hips and the lower back. Hey, they're all connected, right? We're just holding, trying to let it relax. If you're feeling strained, then you're not doing yourself any good. So just try to take it wherever you can that's relaxed. Oop! Oh, I thought I had that under control. This is wonderful. Back up to the top. Well, we're almost done anyway, so I'll pull that back here, pull the knees into the chest. Isn't that great when it's live? I suppose I could edit it later. Now, I'm going to take a chance here because I really like the way it feels when I bring my head up to the knees. And I'm probably going to get smacked on the head with the yoga mat. That's okay. Okay. Phew. Shoulders move down towards your hips. Got to make sure they're still in the right spot before we roll over onto your stomach. And from here, we're going to hold the hands by the chest, drag that belly button towards the ceiling or sky, and then back down. I knew that was going to happen. Coming together, back up, drag that belly button to the spine. It's funny how you know something's going to happen and you just let it happen anyway. Down, and then we push back onto the hands and knees. Oops, I guess I was moving. I didn't know it. All right, so chest pushes towards the ground or towards your knees, so it could be a little angled or not. It's up to you. Hands can work their way forward, but not so much that you start shrugging. If you start shrugging, then just pull those hands back because it's not worth it. Because you can also push your hands away from you so that you're pushing your heels towards your butt. So we're going to come up for that angry cat stretch. And when we do the cat, we also have to do the cow. And then we're going to sit back down. Pushing those hands so that your butt goes back onto your heels. And then we'll bring it back up to the top, point those toes to the floor. And you're going to walk back until your heels roll onto the ground. And you're just going to hold it there. And look at how dirty your knees have become. Just a lot of dust and stuff. So your knees are slightly bent. I mean, if you want them straight, you can, but that's not quite as good a stretch for those hamstrings and everything. And just let it hold. And this is where we bring the hands up, work the legs out to the side of the mat. And you're just going to take your lower back, so you're going to press it to the ceiling. And then one vertebrae at a time, you're going to roll up nice and slowly until you're in the standing position. And you're going to stand nice and tall. Oops. Move things out of the way, stand nice and tall. And this is where we lift the chest up, pull the shoulders down, stomach tight, knees bent. Deep breath, and then exhale down into your perfect posture. That means chest up, shoulders back, pinch your shoulder blades, fingers reach to the ground. Try it again. Deep breath. Exhale down into that perfect posture. There we go. Ooh, all right, so hopefully you got a good stretch. Hopefully you joined me. And we're done for that. But if you wanted to find out what happened yesterday, you can just hang on and I'll tell you. Otherwise, have a great day. So yesterday I specifically left time because normally I'll work until it's night here as far as there's so much to do, landscaping and stuff and fixing things. But I stopped because I wanted to go down to the beach and do a nice little sunset stretch, kind of like what we just did. The problem was that it was cold and it was windy. So I was like, okay, I gather up my stuff, I go down there. I realize it's really cold and windy, but I'm like, okay, I'll hide behind these bushes a little bit, but we can still see the sunset and the beach. It'll be pretty. And I tried to set it up. Things were falling over. Then I realized I didn't have one of the attachments. And I was like, well, fine, I'll just do a voiceover later. Nope, still wasn't going to work. The longer I stayed there, which really wasn't very long, the colder I got. So I was like, forget it. And I had a sweatshirt on. So it's not like I was in, tank top and shorts. So I said, well, I guess it's not going to happen. I'll come home and do it on the deck. Well, this is also before I forgot 2 or 3 things and had to go back and forth, which isn't far, but it's not still. So I came back to do it on the deck. Same thing. It's still too cold and windy because here it's open. There's a little bit of shading over there, but it's too close. So it was just like, I was just like, you know what? Just not going to happen. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can go inside and do it. Nope, same thing. So I was like, ugh. But this time it's, gosh, I don't know, like 9 o'clock. So I figured, well, maybe I can get 2 of them in today to count. I don't know. And hopefully the audio works on this one too. So I know what I did wrong. But, hey, we live and learn. All right, that's it for now. Hopefully I can get another one in later of an actual workout, but I'm really sore from doing a lot of things. So, well, we'll see. But at least I'm a little stretched out and so are you. All right, thanks for joining me. Bye. Oops, you can still see me, can't you? I can't see the computer at all, so.